Hello everyone, it's Maria here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be showing you a 3D project using the prized peony stamp set. I'm going to be using the sentiment here, love and thanks to a dear friend. I'm going to use this beautiful peony flower there. I'm going to use the Tasteful Labels dies, and I'm going to use this, this die over here, the one in the middle there. And I'm also going to be using the Layering Circles dies, and I'm going to be using the smallest scallop circle in this set. So the project we're making today, I'm going to show you to start off with my prototype. This is made out of paper, so it's not the best material to make your project with, but it's just going to give you an idea of what it looks like. So it's going to have a lid, obviously, and on the inside, this box will house 3 15ml essential oils. So these are the 3 I'll be using today. I'll be using these 3. Why not keep it nice and citrusy? And on the inside, this will have this little insert in there. And when you put it in the box, it will just keep the oils upright without smacking into each other. And they'll make it easy to transport. So they will be nice and neat like that on the inside. And it'll have the lid on top. So, yeah, so the cardstock we're going to be using today are quite a few pieces. So you will need 2 pieces of grey granite cardstock, or whatever colour cardstock you like. These each measure 6 7/5, 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. So you need 2 of those. You need 1 piece of grey granite again, and this is for the insert, the one with the 3 circles. And this is 5.5 by 2.5 inches. For the lid, I've got a thick Whisper White cardstock, and this measures at 6.5 by 3 3/4. And then I've got a scrap piece of thick Whisper White cardstock for the love and thanks to a dear friend sentiment that will be stamped on now. So we'll get started on this project. To start off with, what I'm going to do is we're going to score the 2 pieces of 6 3/4 by 4 3/4 inches cardstocks with our scoreboard. And they're both going to be scored in the exact same way. So we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Sorry, just bear with me there. So we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 2 1/4, and that's it. And then the next one again is 1/2, 2 1/4, and that's it. Okay, so what's going to happen is this is going to form the basis of the box. So you're going to have one going like this, and then it'll all fold. Oh yeah, and then on the, so that's on the 6 3/4 inch side. That's where you're going to score 1/2, 2 1/4 for both of them. And then you're going to turn this around, and we're going to put that on the 4 3/4 side, and you're going to score at 1 3/4. For both of them. So they're both scored the exact same way. So that's 1 3/4. Okay, so we'll go through the measurements again. Okay, so on the 6 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2, 2 1/4 for both of them. And then on the 4 3/4 side, you're going to score just on 1 3/4. And this will form the basis of your box. So, what we're going to do with, that's for these 2. For the smaller one here, this is for the inner panel. You're going to score at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. So let's just get all the scoring done in one hit. So that's 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Oops, make sure it's straight. Okay, that's for the inner panel. For the lid, okay, you're going to score at 1 inch on all 4 sides. Oops, that went completely off. Okay, so we can put that scoreboard away. I will have all of the measurements up there on the screen as we're doing this. Okay, so for the box, we're going to do some stamping for the lid and for the box itself. So we'll start off with the lid. I'm going to bring some grey granite cardstock. I'm going to get a piece of paper underneath, just so when I stamp off, I go in the right place. So I'm going to stamp on this side. So I'm just going to grab that image here, that stamp with the beautiful peony flower, and I'm just going to stamp all over the lid. So yeah, just change it around as you see fit. Orientate it the way you would like. And then I'll just add little bits and pieces here and there just to fill up the white space. And if they overlap a little bit, that's okay. So that's the lid there done with grey granite ink. I'm going to clean this because we are going to heat emboss this image onto that grey granite. So what I'm going to do with this one as well is I'm going to grab my watermark ink, which is the Versamark. I'm going to add my embossing buddy over the top of both pieces. And I'll do that on this one as well. And then what we're going to do is use the Versamark ink pad, and we're going to ink it up, and we're going to ink up the whole front. And just stamp away. Finished now putting on the embossing powder over the top of the images, and they look absolutely stunning. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to heat emboss this, and I shall be back. So I've just finished heat embossing these excuse me, the images now onto this. Now it turned out absolutely beautiful. Now what I want to make sure that you do as well is that when you are stamping on your cardstocks, even though you score them and cut them the same way, make sure you have one end that has the ½ inch here, then you have the larger panel, and then another ½ inch there. Because what's this going to do is it's going to put a whole box together. Because if we were to cut this as one piece, you're looking at 13 inches, and there's no DSP that long unless you get like an industrial strength job. So that's my tip to use. Just make sure that you have, and I'll show you on this side as well if you want to see how it looks on this side. Make sure you have one ½ inch on one end to kind of put the box together in the middle, and on the end to completely fix it up. So I'm just going to let these cool off for a little bit, And what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on this inner panel that will keep the oils nicely in place. So what we need to do with this, it's really very simple, is we are just going to cut up the score lines, these little flaps here, on all 4 sides. And we're actually not going to put them together. It's just going to be like that and put in the box without me adhering them. So just cut up here and here, and I'll just cut like that just to make sure it's easy to go inside the box, like that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I cut out 3 of these circles from the Layering Circles dies, and these are the smallest of the scallop circle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that as a template for positioning, like that, just to make sure that they're even in place. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere each of them with a little bit of painter's tape just doubled over on itself, just so that when we cut these out, they will cut out evenly. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this little trick. Or you can use some repositionable tape. It's up to you. I don't have any repositionable tape, so I'm just going to be using this like so. And then just the one more. These are just little bits that I had left over from another time. And we'll just keep that in place there. So I'll just position them in a way that it looks good, because it's hard to tell with dies sometimes where you are cutting. Sorry, excuse my voice there. And here. And here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just, that was just as an idea. So I'm going to put that here. I'm just going to put some painter's tape to just keep it in place. And then I'm going to run this through my Big Shot. So now it looks like that, so now it looks like that, okay? And in the end, I think it moved, but I don't care. Whatever happens, happens. There's always something going wrong with my projects lately. I don't know why, but yeah. All right, so that's for that one. Then I'm going to stamp on this, and then I'll cut it out for that sentiment. So I'll just grab my ink pad, and I'm just going to stamp the flower just very quickly, and I'm going to stamp it off twice, and then I'll stamp it on here on this, yeah, just like that. And then with the love and thanks to a dear friend, I'm going to stamp that now, like so, over the top of that at full strength. And this is all with just one ink pad colour, and that's the grey granite. Just clean my stamps very quickly, clean as I go. So that's all done, finished. And then I'm going to grab my Tasteful Label dies, and I'll grab that die, and it fits perfectly around that sentiment. So I'll just grab a little bit of painter's tape and make sure that it's, if I cut off a little bit off it, I don't mind as such. And I'll just make sure it's nice and even, especially with the sentiment, make sure. All right, and I'll stick that through my big shot as well. So that's now all done, and that's how that turned out. Very pretty. Oops. Okay, and we'll just start putting this box together. It really is simple. So we'll grab the both panels here. What we're going to do with both of them is we're going to cut off that little tiny 1/2 inch down here. And then we're going to just miter the ends off the 1/2 inch one there. And we'll do the same on this one. So you're going to have two that look like that, and they're going to join up together. Then we're also going to cut up the score line for these bottom flaps. And then we're going to just miter them in a little bit as well. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add glue on this part here. Oh, actually, before we do that, let's fold and burnish the score lines. So I'll just grab my, whatchamacallit, bone folder, and just fold and burnish down the score lines. Oops. So that's how you make sure that you have that all nice and even. So let's add some glue. You can use whatever adhesive you like. So I'm just going to stick that down. And this is why I like liquid glue, because it just gives me the opportunity to fix any mistakes that I may make. And I make plenty of them. No matter how many years I've been crafting, I still make mistakes. It's just, that's how I roll. And now make sure that this is right up, buttered right up there. Okay. So from this front, you can hardly tell, it's quite seamless. And then for this one, I'll just fold that down and add some glue there too. And this just folds over. Okay. So then this is the underneath now. So, oops, make sure I give it a minute. Because it's got a bit of embossing, it's a little bit harder to stick down. It will stick down, but it'll just take an extra few seconds or so. Okay. Now I'm going to stick these down. So I am going to add glue on all of these flaps. So just those smaller flaps, I'll just add a little bit of glue there and here. And then I will add glue as well on this over here. So this will make it nice and sturdy as well down the bottom with all these layers of cardstock. Just grab my bone folder and just stick that right down. Makes it extra sturdy. And so now this is how your box looks, like that. And for the inside, I'm just going to fold and burnish this little inner panel here. Please excuse the trucks that you're hearing in the background. They're pouring concrete in the at the site across the road from where I live. Oops, because it's so tiny, I'll muck that up. So just be careful not to, rip those little things apart. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to just do a little fold. We're not going to stick this down. And then we're going to put this on the inside of the box. So it'll make it sturdy along the bottom. And it fits perfectly on the inside. See that? Perfect. Now it's a bit wonky there. So I'll just grab now my oils from my other box. And they fit really well on the inside. And even if you move them around, there's very little room to move. So that's really good. So they're done in there. They're looking good. And now with the lid, let's fold and burnish those score lines as well. Okay, and we're just going to cut up the score lines. We'll go on this side because it's less busy. So we'll just cut up the score line here and just fold and burnish once we've done that. And this is on all 4 flaps. All right, so this is now all done. So what we're going to do is we are going to add glue on all 4 flaps on this side here. Okay, and then this will make a lovely gift. And then we will just assemble it over the top of the box. Like that. So I'll just hold it in place for a few seconds. And I'm loving the way this has turned out. It looks absolutely beautiful. Love. So it's nice and snug over the top. And it won't fall off easily, so that's the plan. And so it fits 3 15ml bottles, so I'll just show you that. So these are the 15ml bottles, as you can see, 15ml. These will make great gifts to anybody. And I'll just add a little bit more glue on the end here. I just noticed that there's not enough glue here. So just put glue here and here again. And stick that right down. All right, so now with the sentiment up here, it kind of blends in. I didn't think of that through. So what I will do is bear with me. I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of grey granite, and then I'm going to heat emboss over the top of that, so just bear with me. I decided to ditch the Love and Thanks to a Dear Friend, even though it's cute. I'm going to keep it for another time, but what I've decided to do instead is I got out the Timeless Tropical stamp set, and I really like the sentiment, May Your Birthday Be Memorable, and I really love the font on that, and I also like the sentiment on that, so I'm going to use that stamp. And I'm going to ditch this one and I'm going to use that one instead. Excuse me, I've got a little frog in my throat. It's not COVID, just in case. Yeah, it's not COVID. I've been to the doctor and everything. It's all good. So, yeah, I just got to have a little frog in my throat. I don't know why. But I think it's still medications and stuff. Side effects. Okay, so that's now done. I've just inked that up with grey granite. I'm going to stamp that here. That turned out lovely. And I'm going to grab the die and cut that out again. So I'm going to cut out with this die again. May your birthday be memorable. Actually it doesn't fit in that one, not anymore, so maybe I'll use this one here. Yes, much better. Okay, so I'll use that, and I'll just secure that onto the with painter's tape, keep that in place. Okay, and that turned out great. And it embossed at the same time, which is really cool. Can you see that? Kind of embossed it at the same time. I really love that little detail. I love these tasteful labels dies. They are so good, and you can use them for, you know, you can mix and match them for whatever sentiments you like. So they're really, really handy to have around. I love them. All right, so with that now, I'm going to put this over the top, I think, or I'm just going to have it down here on the, yeah, I'll have it down here because this will make a nice gift. So I'll put 3 dimensionals on that. Just open up a new packet of dimensionals. Oh. And this is with the old packaging too, so I've had this for a little while. I stocked up. I always stock up, and sometimes when I get my free, you know, your hostess dollars, I stock up on these sometimes. Why not? Okay, so that's 3 dimensionals on that one. And I'll leave the ends because they always come in handy for shaker cards and whatnot. So I'll just now take off the backings. Okay, and I'll stick this now to the front, just here, and I'll just even it out. And that's my finished project for today. I hope you like it. It's a beautiful box, and you know, this makes a nice gift as well, with like some essential oils. They're always handy to have around. And I like the insert as well because that keeps the oils in place. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment and let me know. And I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions you may have. If you have any requests for any projects you would like to see, please don't hesitate to let me know as well. Leave me a comment, or you can contact me privately through my online store at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampandup.net. All of the products you saw today, the tasteful labels dies, beautiful. They're a must, I think. They're wonderful. The Timeless Tropical, Prized Peony, and the Layering Circles dies are all available in my online store at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really appreciating you taking your time out of your day to do so. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.